So he actually said that he's from the Local Initiative Support Corporation, providing technical assistance to Beaver Falls under HUD Distressed Cities Technical Assistance Program. Ooh, that's a long title. Focusing on housing and economic development. And it is the largest community development nonprofit in the nation, but it works closely with community-based groups to grow local economic strength and inclusion in 47 states. They are now in the process of developing a capacity needs assessment for the city. I would like to have the opportunity to speak with us on what the Home Rule Study Commission feels the needs are for the community. So he would like some days and times that work for us. I just responded our meeting dates and times that we meet first and third Thursday of every month. And I gave him the time. I also said we provide Zoom links. I gave him our internet or website address so he could get more familiar with where we're at so far. And I even sent him the link for tonight's meeting, so I don't know if he'll be popping in or not. But I just thought if he could at all attend any of our meetings, it would be good if we could all brainstorm with him and try to get something going forward that, hey, there's some potential to do some things here, and he could find us the money to do it. That would be awesome. So that was my little update. And then I think the first thing before Debbie is, or I don't know if we should do this after Debbie, we need to do some housekeeping on the upcoming meeting on the 11th as far as refreshments and, you know, who's going to run the actual, I think we might need 2 laptops, like one that will be the Zoom link and one that's going to have the PowerPoint. Just little minor details we need to get out. We do have the, for the site, the LGI, 7 p.m. The janitor said he'll let us in at 6 so we can get set up. But I don't think Jerry is.
What?
Are you? Yeah, we're getting feedback because we think it's from you not being muted.
Oh, okay.
See, that's why you need to be in the building, Jerry. What's going on?
Well, I just had knee replacement surgery, so I can't get up.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you're doing well with that.
Well, since about a week now, so I'm all right, I guess.
Oh, hold on a minute. Okay, so the Mick just handed me the paper that has our meeting notice. So that is in the paper officially today, and I think they're going to run it one more time.
You only need one legal advertisement, but if you can get them to do something separate, I don't know if you have any, contacts at the Beaver Times, but if you could get them to do like a little PR, since you already paid for a legal notice, sometimes we'll do a little PR spot. Not everybody checks legal notices. Nobody reads those.
So if anybody has the times, it's on page 14B at the bottom. If anybody has the times, wants to check out our notice. Okay, back to our planning for the 11th. Thoughts? I was actually, as far as the 2 laptops, I still have 2 Chromebooks from the school district that I need to turn back in. But I figured I might as well just use one of them all.
My first question is, with the public meeting, is there going to be a virtual, there'll be a virtual connection?
Right.
So I was on a meeting last night that had, some of it was in person, and they were doing a PowerPoint. And it was a problem for those of us on Zoom to see the PowerPoint. So you might want to have it on the same laptop so that you can share the screen if there's a way to project.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Otherwise, they were talking, but we couldn't see the PowerPoint. So you might have to just download the PowerPoint to whatever computer is going to open the Zoom meeting. And I'm happy to do that. I'm planning to be.
Yeah, I actually downloaded the PowerPoint onto a flash drive just in case we needed
to have backup, good backup. But in terms of the PowerPoint, I sent it out. Did everyone have a chance to take a look? you look, everyone look at it. Because I did talk to Kevin, and I added a couple of his slides. He was good enough to provide them. And
I saw that.
those are on there now. If there's anything else, I think keeping the PowerPoint relatively simple, then taking whatever questions and then ending maybe with a strong, support, please support it. To me, that makes the most sense.
And we're gonna have copies of this draft available for,
So yes, that's what I want to go over. The charter is pretty much final, but we'll present it as a draft still because we haven't officially approved it yet. And the final report, yeah, I'll have copies of it. Now, my question to you was, do you want to do also some type of a one-pager? Because although some people will do this, most people will not. So I don't know, Dante, if you're any good at pulling something like that. I can try and draft like a maybe one pager both sides, maybe with some of our like proposed, current and proposed, so people can see.
Yeah, I just have something to pull from it.
Yeah, and then we can have that. I think that it's good to have a handout for them to take with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
with talking points.
You could put a QR code to the website for more information too.
Oh, that'd be really good. You could do that on the paper. On the
Yeah,
handout.
on the
Yeah.
paper. Do you know how to make? Like literally you Google make a QR
Say
code.
this.
If you can, so
Can you
Yeah,
make
I
there's
can
a
it?
make that
barcode
in 10
thing,
minutes.
they
There you go.
scan and it takes you right to
Seems
the.
like the path of least
Oh,
resistance.
that-
That would
tell
be
us-
good. We would
us
want
old
to have
folks
the
are more advanced
survey link,
Mm-hmm.
the QR code, and ways for people to get more info.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyone
So-
have any thoughts about that?
My question is just, so I think, so I kind of have mixed feelings about next week, but I think my question is like, so where do we go from next week? Because let's say, I mean, we could potentially have a lot of people show up, we could potentially have no people show up. But what do we do if they're like, what do we do with feedback? How do we incorporate that into what we're doing? How much time do we have to incorporate that? Yeah, all that, I guess, in order for us to still try to make it for the ballot.
Yeah, so I guess my first question to all of you is, how broadly is this gonna be, the meeting gonna be advertised? I mean, we just said the legal ad, probably nobody's going to see. So how do we get the word out?
So my plan is very small, but I think we definitely would create like a Facebook event and spread it around. And I think we could do, I mean, if we created some kind of a flyer and everybody just either printed and, dispersed it with it, what they could, or even just, I mean, I'll hang it in the bank, any public places that would accept it. I still am not particularly worried that like a super large.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you get
Amount of
20 or 30 people,
I mean, I
I'll
would
be
be
impressed.
thrilled.
Mhm.
I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
Or even virtually. I would also be thrilled with virtual attendance.
So we need, obviously it's less than a week away.
Mhm.
So ASAP, we need a flyer that has the Zoom link, the QR link.
Do we have a Zoom link?
I
Can
can
you make
create
me one?
like, yeah.
I'll make a flyer tomorrow.
I can make a Facebook event right now. In the week,
Look at them go.
as soon as we have a.
I know, they're
Mhm.
Well, those are.
Can he be put on that marquee up at the 37th Street Park?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and then what about the rec board? Is
yeah.
that- are we allowed to use that
Well,
for
I
anything
can't
that's
say
not rec
yeah
board
because I
related?
would need to run it. I'm going, yeah, and then I went, wait a minute. The board has to vote on what goes on
Okay.
there. So, and we don't have another meeting until, I could do a text vote, like just send it out and see what they say.
That's both of those are prominent. That was a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would do anything, but it might be beneficial to try.
What
I
about
think a lot of
the
people
school-
see
the
that.
School's marquee, do they have that rolling marquee, but they be one to put something on that.
Usually it's just reserved for like activity, community activities. You know, whatever's going on that's gonna get people out active, you know, whatever. And try to stay away from politics on those boards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, you know, I don't know if they'd make an exception.
A lot of traffic goes by there.
Yeah, I mean, it is an awesome spot. But it's kind of, this is kind of political and they've
There's a
never
lot
done
of
that.
Display cases out front.
Yeah.
Now they-
I mean, there's the one out front here.
Yeah.
Of the city building, that would be easy enough to
Yeah.
get something in, but. I can work on this right now as well.
we could have a lot
It's-
of put something
so-
in the front window.
What is the location? It's at the high school.
Yeah, if you go, or you know where our high school is,
Yeah.
you go down between the middle school and the high school and you turn into that lower parking lot where the flagpole is and go through those bottom doors. That's where it's called the Commons. You hit that area first and you walk through the Commons and you'll see the LGI, which has the seating that faces the stage and the screen and all of that.
Okay. And so if you have that on fire, people will know where to go, how to get there.
Most community members are familiar with that area.
Would it be possible to put some kind of a temporary sign there where they have the work going up? That's the library, up by the sidewalk.
That's a good idea. 'Cause it's not like-
You know that one that, like the blinking one that is it D&G that rents it? Although we have no money. You know that sign with the arrow that D&G used to rent for?
What's up with those?
Yeah, that's why I just said, although we have no money. Something like that would get attention because it's blinky and,
You got to be careful. You can't have, on some of that, you gotta be careful what you put. You can't have any flashing signs. But I mean, if you put it in another location.
yeah. But we would need to have the city
Touch the
cover the
photo
cost of
of
renting that is where I was going.
Oh, you knew someone.
The other question I would have is, does the school have any special, I know that their numbers are ticking up again. Do they have any special requirements around?
Not right
masking
now.
or social distance, not
I don't
yet?
think anybody has anything figured out.
Not, I am going to be with a school board member tomorrow, hopefully at 11. And I was planning on asking her what they were gonna do regarding face mask. Because right now, it was, you know, if you were vaccinated, you didn't need one unless you were getting close to a student, but there's not gonna be any students there.
Right, but there will be adults and we
So,
won't know who's
yeah.
vaccinated.
Well,
So they
you're
might
always-
say
but
it's
you're always trusting.
at
What
our
I'm saying is,
discretion.
do we need to take ourselves precautions to keep people
I was
safe?
just gonna have one,
I'll wear a mask.
I'm gonna
I have no
wear
problem with
I'm gonna
that, yeah.
let me out of the house, so.
Mhm.
right? Or should we put on the flyer that we suggest?
That's appreciated. That's the
Yeah.
terminology I'm starting to use.
Okay, yeah, because we can't require it, but we can
Mask is
suggest it.
appreciated regardless of vaccination status.
Right. Hopefully, nobody gets offended about that.
So
Everybody's.
in
affected
terms
by
of
it.
the presentation, I feel it's best if the commission does it. I mean, I'm happy to do whatever you want us to do, Bonnie, and I'll be happy to fill in, but in terms of the PowerPoint, how do you want to handle that?
Oh, I was just gonna introduce, well, I kind of thought we would introduce ourselves, the commission members, and then introduce, I'm not sure if Michael Foreman will be there or virtual.
Michael's on, I think.
Whoever is there,
He might-
right, might have stepped up.
Michael,
I plan to be there physically,
Okay,
Okay.
so I
But
would,
but I'll need directions to the high school. I know you just gave them, but I'll probably need more directions, but okay.
we can email that.
Yeah, thank you.
That I was going to introduce you, our core here that kept us together and focused and did so much work for us. And my plan was to just let you guys take it from there because you're more knowledgeable. Or if they start throwing too many in-depth questions at us, we have to defer to you anyhow.
Well, I feel like.
I would,
It helps.
Yeah, there's, Michael had a comment.
thank you, sorry to interrupt. I'm going to try to be judicious in my remarks because I don't want to usurp the presentation that I think you as Government Study Commission members should make, because they can connect with you much better than I think as a state person. I mean, I can talk to the assistance that Debbie and I provided and what home rule's about, but I want to be careful that I don't take over the presentation, because I think people want to hear more from you, because again, they can relate to you better than some state person that just shows up for a public meeting. But I'll be there to help and answer questions, give technical answers. But I just found it to be more productive and I think more genuine if the Government Study Commission members are more upfront and Debbie and I kind of off to the side and step in when needed or
So
when asked.
if we want to divide up the presentation, like, okay, I do so many slides, pass it, so many slides, so we each get to speak.
I think that would be prudent, yes. So that you collectively have a shared role in its presentation as well as its development.
What was the total number of slides on that, Debbie? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try, this connects right, because it's acting a little weird. Let me see if I have the presentation. Sometimes it takes a while to catch up.
We'll put you
Let me try
last.
a different one.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be at
for
another
the-
meeting,
Do you know?
so
I'm
we'll-
glad you remembered.
yeah.
It's best.
There's Michael. We can see him now.
Let me, go ahead and talk about the other logistics about, I know you wanted to talk about refreshments.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
But I think I can get out this another.
I'm sure that West Banco would be happy to sponsor part of the, just guessing.
Okay, so
I'm
send
sure I
your
can-
bill to them.
I'm sure, yeah, no, we will sponsor
It would be much.
beverages
Yeah. just
and
like-
that, or are you doing cookies too?
I would do
or-
coffee and then free cookies.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep. yep,
Maybe
send me your
like
bill.
something beyond like water. or-
Commission or is that for?
Oh,
for the
no, it's
public.
for the public.
For the public.
It's
We-
For the public,
If
yeah.
we feed them, they might come.
Yeah, we do like a jug or two of the lattes that
Mhm.
everyone loves, and
Mhm.
some like decaf and regular coffee and the monster cookies. Does that sound good?
I was hoping for a couple chocolate chip, but I'm partial to them.
I don't have any of those. I don't have any
But I do think we should have water.
water.
That's,
Mhm. I mean, yeah,
Can somebody
For
stop
sure.
and get that?
I will.
I
I will do bottled water.
okay.
And cinnamon ring.
Oh, my goodness.
I
Listen,
think the answer was we're getting monster
Listen.
cookies and she's done.
I have almost no staff next week,
Yeah,
and then I have to leave, so it's real light.
or we think that's enough. I mean, we're not trying to give everybody a dinner, but
Oh, it's plenty.
that's enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan for like 50 and less people, right?
Yeah,
mhm.
How long is the meeting?
depends on how many people are there and start asking questions.
I doubt if you'll be there more than an hour.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I think we can advertise, like, I mean, we're saying 7, right?
right. And we have the facility until 10 if we
Yeah.
need it, but we
Okay,
don't have to stay
so-
there that long.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we'll say, let's just say it begins at 7 and lasts as long as everybody wants it till, but we don't have to say that, but
yeah,
it begins at 7.
Are you doing the case in like?
No, I'm trying to do a Canva thing,
okay.
but I think
Is
it's
it
just.
important to have a title to this meeting that you can show the public, like why we need?
Oh,
Here,
That's what our,
I'm
that's what
trying.
our PowerPoint is.
yeah.
I'm trying to get this up.
Here's that.
He's at Children's Hospital right now with my brand new baby nephew.
Something wrong with it, you know, or just
He was born a little early because my sister-in-law had some medical complications. And so he's not holding his body temperature well. So they're doing extensive testing to make sure there's no other issues, but he's doing well. Thank you for asking. That's why he's not here. He would love to be here. My mother said that it's the family's, the weight of the family is resting on my shoulders tonight. And I said, well, that's kind of scary.
This is just making sense.
Yeah, we're, case Neil and Jerry are wondering what's going on. We're just waiting for the PowerPoint to come up because we're gonna look at dividing it up into sections that we can each take to present. And we just needed to know how many slides so we can try to get it nice, even balance.
Does
Michael-
everybody want to do it? I mean, I don't want to make anybody do it if they don't want to do it, but I think if we're all at least sitting up there and whatever, I mean, you know what I mean?
I kind of agree that we should all take a turn though, because,
We should all be available for questions and
it's, you know,
yes. I just don't want to, I don't know.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
people do have an aversion to public speaking, but I taught it for so many years, I just make people do it. It's like, no, you will get in front of people and you will speak. You will find out it's not that terrifying.
It's fine. I've done
It's
lots
not.
of traffic or training courses.
Find a nice spot above everybody's head and look at that, and then it looks like you're looking at them and you're really not.
This is Jerry. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it that night or not. I'm not mobile right now on some medication, so I
Okay.
hate to
Well,
make a
we
promise.
understand. You'll probably be on Zoom still, won't you think?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so, yeah, we get your health is not gonna allow you to come stand up on stage.
Right. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
And we're putting Michael Anderson last because he has a meeting at 6. And to give him time to hopefully get out of that meeting and just run in, but if he's running late, then we'll go in.
Okay, the slides are up. Let's see if I can run through them. Okay, so the first slide is an introduction to the River Falls Emerald Charter. We can put this up, Regina, when you're, well, there is a slide in your thing. No. This could just be the welcome everybody. This is what it is. Emerald Charter Study Commission, August 1. Why consider home rule? The problem, the city has a long past history of achievement and triumph. Someone want to do this, basically talking about the challenges and then plan. The city partnered with GCEC to prepare the multi-year financial management plan, which included all these things, but also then the charter.
That's good. You're still unmuted, Jerry. We're getting a little feedback.
All right.
The third one basically talks about the referendum, the charter question, and this is where you can introduce the home rule study. And if you want me, I mean, this others, like you said, this slide has a lot of stuff that we were a part of. If you want me to do that slide,
I was just,
As
I'm
an
fine with it.
introduction.
I think it's more appropriate that Debbie do it because she's the author and her team of this report.
yeah, so we can do that. Here, Regina, I'll probably turn it over to you. You can talk about
Yes.
the referendum question and how the study commission was elected as part of the referendum. Introduce all the members or have them introduce themselves. Which would be a good thing probably for everybody to introduce themselves.
Now, at this point, do we just give our names or are we expected to give a brief bio?
I think you should talk about a little bit about your, you know, your background, but also
Why you ran too.
why you were interested and why you did this. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta write down what I'm supposed to know about myself.
You might want to move my name to the bottom.
Well, that's listed
It's
alphabetically.
alphabetical. Yeah.
We're just gonna take you off. You're not that important.
That's what I figured. I'm just
Okay.
glad you didn't.
And then Regina, on this slide, I mean, someone, whoever wants to do this slide, basically say, this, what we wanted to answer tonight is what is home rule? How is it different from the current city code? Why is it good for the city and how will things change? And then we're gonna be taking, questions. So this is, what is home rule? Basically, it's by the people, it's ruled by the people. Where the city affairs, the authority to act in city affairs is transferred from state law. And I don't know, as we go through these, do you want volunteers to do some of these?
I didn't know if we wanted take the total number and just divide it by the number of us who are going to speak and
Or
then,
some, like I said, some people might be more comfortable with.
or
one
Yeah,
number.
alternate every 2 slides or 3 slides.
I find those that have a greater comfort level in certain portions or parts of the presentation would gravitate to say, okay, I'm going to do this slide, this slide, this slide. Maybe do 2 or 3 slides. One person does 2 or 3 because that's their comfort level. That's maybe where they feel they're stronger to be able to explain it.
How many slides are?
I think there are only 8 or 9. There's not a lot. I didn't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit more. So this is, the current Third Class City Code, and it has some comments there about, currently council members act as department heads, the city controller and city treasurer are elected independently. So, I mean, everything you need to say is really on the screen.
I do not
we're
read from the
available.
screen.
Mm-mm.
Don't dare read from the screen.
I do not need to bring in.
Yeah.
And then this is the proposed charter and how it's different. And again, the block on the right tells you really how it's different from the current charter. So, they're sort of cheating it, I guess, but whoever takes these slides, just familiarize yourself with the 4 or 5 things that make it different. And these are the proposed charter, things that are in the proposed charter that might be of interest to, residents. The budget message is in plain language. There are adopted budgets for every fund. There's a city information site now. Capital improvement plan is at a public meeting, adoption of the budget. Obviously, the flexibility in taxing options is the most significant. But again, that area there kind of explains that the city's at its taxing limits, and under the new charter, the city has the ability to move from different revenue opportunities. And then there are some other, mandatory independent audit, which I think sounds really good to residents. All the payments have to be approved by council with live signatures. There's a formal purchasing and procurement, and everything has to be consistent with the PA Department of Labor Industry. So, I mean, a lot of residents are not going to be interested in these things. If there's some of those that you think we should take off, I'm happy to, do whatever you think is best. Your residents way better than I do. This is one of Kevin's slides, which I think kind of helps people understand that some of the property tax burden can be moved to wage earners. In the charter, it can't be done now. It can be done under the charter. And this gives that example. I think, Kirsten, you asked about this example that tells you that it's, we're not really talking about a huge number when we move it to wage earners. If you think this is too much emphasis on the tax flexibility, we
They
can,
need to hear it.
That thing is what gets people.
and I thought I put a more fair way, if you don't say anything else, say, you know, this is a way, more fair way to levy taxes than the current system. That's why I kind of emphasize
And
that.
that's what I think most people coming in are going to be interested in.
Exactly. And again, whoever's doing this slide, if you need any assistance from me or Bonnie or Michael, we're there. And you can say, you know, can you explain it a little clearer? Someone asks a question and you're not really sure, just, you know, can we help you with it? And we're more than happy to help. Again, what I wanted to emphasize here, and maybe it's too busy, you can tell me, but I wanted to emphasize that the charter really sets some high standards for everybody in the organization, the city manager, the council, the department directors, the employees, that there's going to be a personnel ordinance, that the city employees are not allowed to engage in political activity or run for political office, and we're not allowed to accept gifts. So I thought again that that was important to emphasize that one of the things this charter does is really set some high standards for everybody. And again, if you guys look at this and think it's too much and we don't need to go there, you know, we can certainly
Does every home rule charter have that?
have what, that kind of
Standards.
standards.
Yeah.
Most of them do. Michael's seen more than I have, but most of them do set some pretty high standards for the directors and the council.
Okay.
This, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in because it gives them the ability to participate in their government that they don't have now. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that the citizens can actually propose ordinances by petition. If council doesn't act on them, the petitioners can take those ordinances to referendum for a vote. And they don't really have that ability now. So this actually gives residents more active participation in their government. And then this is one of Kevin's slides. I can make that bigger. The font's a little small in it, but so these are things that home rule can't do. And I thought it was kind of interesting. It can't make any laws contrary to the US Constitution, Pennsylvania Constitution, state laws. And it must follow all of these other things, labor laws, environmental laws. I mean, I guess this is probably important, I would think, so that people don't think you're just gonna run a roughshod, that you can just do anything you want to, because you can't. You still have to follow the crime code and the vehicle code and the sunshine law. So I'll make that, doesn't look as good. And then I just put the schedule in, you know, these are the months that we're drafting the final documents, public meetings, public comments, you know, the website. And Bethany, you probably want to talk a little bit about the website and get people, get the word. Oh,
Sorry.
That we will be continuing to do public education and outreach through September and October, and of course, election day. And then I wanted to tell, you know, really encourage people with questions and comments, because they help improve the quality of our work and enhance the future. So thank you for asking. So that's it. I mean, there really are not a lot of,
Anybody feeling passionate about any, I really want this section?
I would be happy to take the why, like the beginning, the why did we do this?
Oh, I thought you'd go with the taxes one. Because it
I
was
hate
money.
No. I'm not gonna, I mean, I do like controversy. I hate controversy.
Do you think your dad would be okay with slides 11 and 12?
given what
The
nobody
one
else
to
wants.
No, no. wait,
About,
so
no, that's
think-
the one
okay,
about
wait.
the,
Yeah.
council.
Right. Well, okay, so here, my only thing is, so for my dad,
He's special.
so
Yeah,
special.
just be careful.
I love my dad, but so he will not want to represent, he will be very happy to talk, but he wants to be, I'm sure, that he would want to be very careful to not, be presenting anything that would say that like he's a part of, like, the city is making him do this or whatever, so.
So that would take him
Or-
out of not speaking, because I thought
I
it may
don't think it
be,
takes him out of speaking, but
no, I
I
mean,
think, or
speaking
maybe,
about the part where it shows that it's not what people think. It's not like they're,
well, so I would be fine if you asked him
Yeah.
about any of that, but
About
my
that.
feeling is that he would
yeah, I
want to
thought
be very
here,
careful because.
11, slide 11.
Which one's laughing at?
There's
What do you
little
mean, which
numbers at
one's
the
11,
bottom.
Girl, you
Well,
got.
The little, I was looking at the
Oh,
numbers
there's
at the
the
bottom.
number. I already have it.
No, I just think he
Yeah,
would want to
right
be careful
here.
to not, to.
Where, what it
uphold
sets
this-
standards, that's what I thought maybe.
Yeah.
That seems separate from like,
Yeah, that it's pointing out that it's not really like there's the city saying we're doing this, it's setting a standard.
and what home rule can't do.
Right,
Mhm.
that's why I thought maybe he might like to
No, that might
say,
be, that might be good. That might
yeah,
be really good.
11 and 12, I thought really makes it clear, like it is not the city, this is a whole set of and
Yeah.
there it is, there's the initiative, there's the referendum.
Right. Well, I will not answer for him, but if you
Okay.
would like to ask him to do that, I'm sure he will tell you whether or not he feels comfortable.
Okay.
Let me ask Michael, because I know he's done way more of these than I have. Did we miss anything? Are there points that we should make that are missing or something? that
I
you-
think, I think you've hit the key elements and the advantages and how it can pivot the city into a much better position organizationally and and then even, financially. I think this is a very thorough and very comprehensive presentation. And I think it's at a certain level that it doesn't go too deep.
Right.
But it hits the key
Okay.
highlights
I would say the very, very, very beginning. If I were somebody who had no idea what this was, I would start, like even before that, like what is home rule? I would start by saying it's a government structure. Because you're going right into describing the government structure, but people don't know.
So that would have been the title
Yeah, that
slide.
one, yeah, what is
Yeah,
home
that's what
rule?
it's on.
So like describing home rule is great, but people don't know that what we're actually talking about is changing the structure of the government. That's probably the first thing they need to know.
Well, the very next slide though is.
Yeah, but if we're answering what is home rule, like that's kind of the first thing you need to know. Before you describe it.
Okay.
There's been a
Mhm.
couple of things, like I'm not gonna be here, so now I'm like, what would I wanna make sure? What would I wanna say? And there's something that Mike said.
Well,
and I-
maybe down here where it says under home rule, that last one, the people of Beaver Falls can control their own government structured destiny. Just put those words in front of destiny. Would that help?
So what you, up there, it says under home rule, like, it's.
I just think
it's
that
like
needs to
using
be
the
explained
word-
first.
The word in the definition, which, but anyway,
Maybe you have.
you said something that really struck me, that like helped me really get it.
Right.
And that was that the city is doing everything it can, the government's doing everything it can, but it asks the constituents for help. And I think that was so
Mhm.
important and so moving. And I feel like, hey, we're asking for your help. The city is asking for our help. And I think that's a really good thing to
Yeah,
say.
I think that wording now can control their own government structure. That's stronger than destiny, I think. Like they know we're running the
Well, it's more
government.
concrete.
It's our
Yeah.
government. We're running it. So-
Yeah, and that works well. because the
Within-
very
yeah,
next
within
slide is
designated
structure.
parameters.
Right, that, yeah, that
Yeah.
leads right into the
Right
next
into
one.
the current structure and the,
So which
okay.
slides are you trying to claim, Donna?
We'll arm wrestle for him, which one?
Tell me what you want me to do.
No,
and
no,
I'll
what do you
it.
want to do?
I'll fit in anywhere.
Because I thought I had the intro where I introduce everybody. Well, I just say,
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
then you all
and
get
good
up,
luck.
pop up.
I
and-
hope you don't think you're done when you're done with that.
Well, no, because then after that, it goes to the question. Or do you want me to just do the intro, step out of the way and let somebody else do the question? We'll be here all night doing this. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, that was the part that I was thinking, if you,
Slide
yeah,
three.
no, I'd be
So-
happy to jump in there.
So I can do slide 3 and then when are you jumping out? Like, how far are you going? Because I can't just do one slide.
Why? You
Well,
are the
because-
moderator.
Well, yeah, and I'm also the security.
You're- well, So it's gonna be up to you to keep things moving and to make sure that we're following. But I
Okay,
mean, you're the introducer, and then you're,
okay.
yeah.
I just thought maybe because Bethany's not gonna be there and Jerry's not gonna be there, I might have to pick up more.
Oh, yeah, no, so then jump in frequently throughout, but if you do too long,
Okay, so I'll
don't you
just,
always feel like if we're popping up,
You don't want to ping pong in and out. You know, just-
or you don't want to?
No, I don't think.
No, you
No.
want to do
Okay.
a few slides and then
Right.
turn it over to somebody.
Okay,
else.
well then I'm ready to jump in as needed.
so no, but if you start at slide 4, then how far are you going? 4 to?
Hey,
Now
I'm just trying to help you out.
just find a spot where it feels like the topic switched a
Let
little
me
bit.
get- I'll go down
Can you do the view
the other view.
of all the slides?
You mean the,
I'm gonna need a global view, Debbie.
how do we do that?
Present maybe?
This makes me feel better about my technology.
Well, present's gonna take us to the slideshow.
You mean this view or you?
No.
It's a,
These?
I think he's trying to see more slides at
no,
once,
you
which
can print them all out at one time. see
Can you
all.
put them all like
Oh,
in
you can
the,
do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can.
you can make it like a handout. Well, you can, that would be under the print settings though. Yeah, she'd have to pretend like she was gonna print it and it would
Ah,
come
I
up
can
as
do
a,
that.
so, yeah, we
imagine
won't
if you were
really.
like a person that knew how to do this and you're watching this right now.
Oh,
And
you
then
know,
just
ripping
do a
your hair
preview.
out.
We just do a
That's
print
how I feel on
preview.
the regular when I do anything.
Okay, so we're looking at some of them, but that's so little, we don't really know what's on.
Yeah, I know. Let me see if I can zoom in. a little. Yeah, once you get it into this print. mode,
So it's gonna come down to pretty much
Yeah, just
me,
got-
you,
got
your
there.
dad,
Just
and
do
Michael for
print
this,
layout.
What about
because,
Neil?
oh, I forgot about
Yes,
Neil.
ask
Where
me.
is Neil?
Flying under the radar. in there.
Let us
He's being
ask our
quiet.
friend, well, we muted him, so.
We're sitting,
Right there.
I'm on here.
There he
hey,
is.
I forgot about you. You seeing any part of this? You just feel like
You
you
can
just
keep,
need
you
to
can keep
present?
forgetting about me on this.
No,
No,
no.
never.
Put on your
Neil,
Sunday go to meeting suit and get up there.
What'd you say?
These shorts won't, my shorts won't do it.
Hey, but you have nice legs, so.
Oh, my gosh.
That just made my day.
I just felt like if I'm standing in front of the public, I need to clean it up a little bit. That was my personal
Well,
thing.
I mean, you, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'll clean myself up. But I only own shorts.
so now that we can see it this way, you're 4 through, where are you stopping? Because we can see it better.
What makes sense?
Probably, where'd 5 go? Oh,
Right there.
5's that
Right
one.
there.
Okay, it's on the side.
That's the one about
So-
what is Emerald,
Mhm.
and then the structures, the current and proposed. And then the changes in the charter.
Okay, well, so I feel like 4 and 5 go together. and-
Definitely.
I feel like 8, 9, and 10 go together.
Yep. And I feel like 6 and 7 go together.
7. Okay, so right now you're 4, 5, so we need somebody to jump in for slides 6 and 7. Is that, do I
And
hear
that's-
Neil?
That is the current versus the proposed.
I can
correct?
jump back in for 6 and 7,
Yeah.
Mhm.
unless Neil wants to jump in for 6 and 7.
Yeah,
I will-
Or
yeah,
Jerry. we can-
yeah, I was great. to say I
Gary's
can-
gonna be out with his
Oh,
hip.
that's right.
Yeah, I can do 6 and 7.
Okay, so we got Neil. I really don't want to talk about taxes.
Get Kevin.
Wow, but you want security to really have to step in,
I'll
don't you?
talk- if you, I'll do that. I don't care. If it makes more sense for me to do that than the other one, I'll do that. I don't care.
Is 8, 9, and 10 together?
Yeah,
I
they're
think
all
we
talking
got
about the
that.
taxing. Well, you think you'll be in there by, you think you'll be done by that time?
I hope.
I'm just
I can
giving-
do that part if that makes sense.
You are our treasurer.
The treasurer, no money.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we gotta talk about that before we leave there.
yeah,
'Cause there needs
We have
to,
outstanding invoices.
no, the city needs to.
and then I'm gonna ask Doug to do slides 11, 12. 13,
Yeah.
and then somebody picks up
Then you
the
can
ending.
Come back
Come back
the
at the
last
end.
14. Because that's the schedule.
Okay,
Thank you.
and hopefully Doug says okay to those slides.
So what slides am I doing?
Where'd we put you? If you don't care doing the tax slides,
No, I don't.
You're gonna do the current and friendship,
Yeah,
the 6, 7,
6 and 7.
6 and, no,
6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8, yeah. They go together.
No, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so it's just 6 and 6 and 7 Neil took.
Yeah.
Neil took 6 and 7.
Okay, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, so you're doing the tax part.
Oh, that's.
That's the tax part, 8, 9, and
that's
10.
8, 9, and 10.
You okay with it?
Sure.
Okay, see, there you're off the hook. Michael got it.
8, 9, and 10.
So all we need is your dad to say okay on 11, 12, and 13, and we're good.
Okay.
We've
well,
got this
just-
divided.
Just everyone be willing to flex if they need to.
Okay,
Exactly.
I will trade for whatever, I'll do whatever my dad doesn't want to do first and.
Well, you are his offspring.
okay, so
Yeah.
everybody got this. What I have written down is I do slide, well, it starts with Debbie, then I do slide 3, pass it to Kirsten for 4 and 5. She passes to Neil for 6 and 7. Neil passes to Michael for 8, 9, 10. Michael passes to Doug for 11, 12, 13, and he passes it back to me for the big finish. And we all take a bow.
Think about it, head to the door.
Yeah, and then we take
Hopefully nobody's
questions.
throwing anything at us.
Okay.
So,
So I will bring my laptop and get it here earlier, so.
yeah,
That's
we will be
fix
able
with
to get in at
everything.
6 o'clock so we can.
And do
try-
the Zoom and have the PowerPoint loaded. Okay. And that's all. I will also bring, how many copies do you guys think we need of the charter itself? The full charter?
We have no way of knowing how many people are gonna show up.
Before we leave the charter, did anyone do a final review of any?
I looked through it, but I mean, we can even, I'm happy to donate my copy for public perusal. I think if we had at least 10 copies for physical copies, and then if there were people who requested additional ones
They can
in
have a
print,
sign up sheet. that they can
yes,
send.
I would be happy to do that.
That's good. Because it will be available electronically.
On
the
too,
website.
But not
on the
every- yeah,
website and Facebook.
Yes, yep, we can do
It'll be
all of the above.
available that way
Did you, you just sent these 2 things out to us, right?
and the PowerPoint.
Yeah, the PowerPoint's on the website.
Oh,
I can put these on that. Well, unless I have a.
yeah, let me send you a new version. That's it. And then, so this you guys are fairly familiar with because we've worked with Smith every single word of that. So, this you hadn't seen before, final report. You have it, and I have extra copies there this
Mhm.
evening. So basically what the final report includes are upfront, it includes some documents that have to be certified and signed and sent with the charter and the final report to the county. So I wanted you to see samples of that, and apologize, one of these says borough, I changed it already, I just didn't read it. But so there, we're gonna have a letter to the commissioners who act in Beaver County. The commissioners act as the Board of Elections. But there's also an office manager, so we're gonna send letters to both of them. Paula will have to, Paula is as the city clerk. When we deliver the final documents to the city clerk, she has to certify that the commission delivered those documents to her. That has to go with the final report and with the Haverhill charter.
All right, and who's gonna submit that?
Once we adopt it, which is scheduled for the August 19th meeting, if everything goes as planned, you will take an official vote. We'll put all the dates in. You notice there's a bunch of dates missing right now. We'll add the dates, deliver them. Paula will certify them, and either she will take them to the county or I will. One of us,
Somebody will get-
between Mick and me and Paula, will get the required number of documents to the county Board of Elections before the end of the month. Probably around the week of the 25th or 26th. So the other thing that's, required in the final report as you go through it, and I've been back and forth Bethany and Regina over the weekend, we have to talk about the purpose, the question, how the commission was organized, when you met, how many times you met. So there's a whole bunch of narrative, hopefully, and the reason I wanted everybody to kind of take a look at it, hopefully it's in plain language that people can understand, because this may not be, this is more legalistic, but the final report is in plainer language. We will attach all the minutes and any other documents that were generated during the. We do have these organization charts that are required as part of the final report. There are brief summaries of all of the sections. If you go through it, beginning on page 11, every section is summarized. And then there at the very end, we have to have a statement of finances and resources, and this is, I sent it to her.
Yes, you did send it to me and I had no idea what to do with it yet, so.
So we are required, and Michael, you maybe could be more enlightened us more. We are required to include any consultancy, which I can calculate, obviously, because I know what I've told the city. But any legal advertising that the city has done, if you have to notarize anything, any supplies, printing, and then you have to estimate, and this is where, the public education and outreach comes in. You have to estimate what you think you're going to need the rest of the time between now, when we certify it August 19th, and the election November 2nd. We really need to estimate what we think we're gonna need. And that really needs to be submitted to the city, because the city is required to provide the commission with funds to do the things that you need to do between now and the election. Anything else, Michael, that I'm missing?
No, just to make sure that a member of the Government Study Commission did communicate with City Council about a budget that Debbie's now describing, that the city officially will appropriate funds.
I'm happy to do that, Michael. I need to create a budget.
Okay,
I don't know I don't know how to fill it out at this
Yeah.
present moment. But I think Debbie and I can have
Yeah.
a brief
And we
conversation.
probably have to talk to Mick or somebody, whoever
Yeah,
is at the city in terms
Yeah.
of the legal.
And Paul was a
advertising.
notary.
Yeah,
So she,
So much.
so there's
she
that
could-
cost for that.
you guys know what that cost is before that.
Yeah, and I
It's
only
minimal.
put the categories that I thought you might need. There might be things that I didn't think about, or some of it's, like you said, if the notary, if there's no cost for the notary, that.
I really want a billboard
But
though.
for
I really-
printing or for a
I
billboard
want a billboard.
or for postage and flyers and all of that stuff,
Right, depending on. what
we're gonna
we're-
need a budget.
Yeah.
So
The,
that
hum-
has to be certified, that you see there's places.
yeah, the Home Rule Charter law talks about reasonable and necessary expenses that the city would appropriate or make available to the Government Study Commission for its activities that Debbie's now describing.
Again, for the public hearing next week, I will bring a handout document. One pager, if we can pull one together. And I'll bring that material. I'll bring the laptop. So I'll take care of the Zoom meeting and the PowerPoint. It's at 7 o'clock, is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
If someone from the public has a disagreement, what do we tell them? Do we say, well, the commission will look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if there are things in there, like you said, that they just, no matter how you explain it, they just disagree with it. You just say, okay, that, that's part of the public hearing, we'll make a note and we will discuss that. And you should discuss it at the meeting before you. That's the best way to do it.
Support by acknowledging people.
Right.
What I would suggest though, that you don't get sucked into having the discussion then. Then just say, thank you for your input and we will, discuss it at our next meeting, because you don't want.
Take up time.
Right.
And they're welcome to come to the next meeting
Right.
Oh,
to be
yeah,
part of the discussion.
part of it.
Right, I'm saying, I don't know what we're talking about.
Is that Neil?
Tell Neil he's not on mute anymore.
Neil, you know you're unmuted? Not anymore. There
There he is. Yeah, no, we're
you
good.
go.
We got it.
He's on it now. He's even-
This is Jerry. I have a question about content in our home rule charter. And it's a question that just came across my mind, and I don't think it's an issue, but I think I need to ask. The city treasurer currently collects taxes for the school district, earned income tax, real estate, that type of thing. Does that need to be incorporated into the charter or under the duties of the finance officer, or how would it work?
My understanding would be that the city would enter into an agreement with the school district to either continue that practice the way it's being done now, or a portion thereof, if there's other taxes or fees that the city treasurer collects for the school district, or the school district may choose to go on its own and appoint
Right.
its own collector.
Okay. All right, that's what I suspected. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes,
Um,
it's negotiable.
Question for Bethany, do we have a place on our website where someone can submit a comment?
I have an email listed for.
Okay.
And that
Is someone
was,
gonna monitor, you're gonna monitor?
that was my question. How do I get
I
into,
just set a password for it.
okay, because I was looking, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't know
send
if
you the login
anybody,
information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as someone's monitoring it, and then if you need any of us, Bonnie, Michael, or myself to prepare an answer for you, just
Okay.
shoot it to us and we will prepare an answer for you. I mean, it may very well be something.
Would it be helpful to have paper and pens there at the meeting? They can fill out their questions and leave it there.
yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
It's a good idea.
Okay, anything? That's all I had for this evening, the PowerPoint, the final report, unless there's any questions. And like I said, please read through them because we really want it to be in plain language.
You're in the emails. Is the PowerPoint presentation part of that? So I can print it out.
Yeah, but let me resend it because we just made
Yeah.
a couple little changes
Okay.
and I'll resend it after the meeting.
It's awfully quiet.
And now,
Yeah, I was looking at
I
your,
just think.
yeah, and I was trying to get my wording before I repost this on my page. Where I like, please try to attend and please share this post. It's important to be informed about the present structure of city government and the possibility of entering into homeroom charter. Light refreshments will be served. Does that sound good to repost?
Sounds good.
Okay, yeah, because, you know, my mind was going, you all need to stop with rumors and, but then I was typing nicely. So I censored myself. I'm proud of me
Oh, you know what, we're gonna get everything. How come we're just now hearing this?
because you
Yeah,
didn't
definitely.
pay
Yep.
attention.
We'll
See, that's why I'm gonna be the,
let the teacher come out
Yeah.
and say it, but.
you know, numerous
yeah.
times we
Mhm.
have shared information on Facebook and other social
All of
media
our meetings.
platforms. All of our meetings were recorded and posted on YouTube. There is no excuse right now except you turned a
Just
blind
make
eye.
It was on the ballot.
Right.
It was on the ballot. Yeah.
Yeah, don't make me have to answer this. His audio is going in and out, so he has his ear up to his phone.
right. I just saw that. too.
You're good. Hopefully you followed us. So,
Okay.
everybody,
If anybody needs anything at all from us,
this is a new record
between now and
for the time.
I want to thank Debbie for her hard work and
I know.
Yes.
great undertaking.
I
It's
feel like we should
phenomenal.
buy gifts, you know? like-
We don't have a budget.
I
Can't
know.
take gifts,
Put
so
that
it's
in,
all
oh,
for
that's
me.
right. We can't send you
For
like a
me.
fruit basket or something?
No, you're a government official.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
No.
That is in the charter, no gifts. or-
any extras, that you want me to
Right.
take for next week's meeting, I'll just pack up with me.
No, they're just getting the charter draft. They're not getting the final report, right?
Yeah, they'll get.
Oh, they'll
they
get
should
both?
that. I'll
Oh,
bring-
okay.
But like I said, I'll only bring about 10 copies of each. And then we'll have a sign up sheet and if anyone else, if we run
Okay.
out, anyone else can.
The charter and the final report are companion documents that will go to the county election office.
Right, with the letters and the certification.
Right.
Michael, do you
yes.
know how many copies we need to take to them, or is that something I have to ask them?
When I did what you're doing, I transmitted one copy
Okay.
to the county election office,
Okay.
Is
one
something
complete copy.
at the meeting?
What's going on?
At the public hearing,
It's public.
Is it an official meeting that you put in?
it should have minutes, yes.
That's gonna be
One of y'all-
tough.
one of y'all-
That's gonna be a tough one to keep up with.
But we can record it and take minutes from that.
Yeah.
And I'll try and keep track of who attended. We will have a sign up sheet for attendance
Mhm.
also, and then a separate one for people who want documents emailed to them.
Down here, it's still good to make a
Mhm.
handout sheet.
Mhm.
And do we have a deadline for him to get that sheet submitted to Debbie? Right, it goes to Debbie, the handout?
Yeah, I mean, unless they're gonna print it here. It
Well,
depends.
let's have it, maybe for everyone to just
Take a
read
look at
over. Yeah, but I mean, I think Monday would be awesome, but Tuesday would be the last possible time to.
But you want, okay, so we're talking two different handouts. We're talking one announcing the public hearing.
I'm doing the flyer for
You're
the
gonna do
public
that,
hearing.
okay.
He's
And
doing
then-
the handout for
For
folks
that
to
night.
attend the hearing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
And mine will be ready tomorrow and I'll email a copy to everyone.
okay.
and I can print.
And then we can go around
some
and-
black and white copies at work.
The bank has no color print.
I didn't say the bank. I said I can print some. Kirsten Bester has access to a black and white copier. that
I
she
think there's
will-
a color one here that maybe you can make some
Think there is, but
Perhaps.
copies here.
but then we have to add the cost of those color copies.
Right.
into-
Right.
Our budget.
Did it go through?
Yeah. I just put this on.
Yeah, you can just like more information. Here's our website. Just get it with your phone sort of thing.
Okay.
And so our next meeting, our next Thursday meeting will be the vote.
The
Yeah,
19th.
And it'll
at
be
that
after
meeting-
that public.
At that meeting, we will vote to adopt the charter or to recommend the charter. You'll vote to adopt the final report. I have certifications that I'll bring wherever I'm assigned, the certification. And then we'll deliver everything to the city clerk. And then the city clerk within 5 days is required to transmit it to the county, but I'll work with on
Who's the city?
Paula.
Aren't you related to Paul?
Yes.
I just,
Paula who?
I don't know what she does for a living, but she's my cousin, right?
She's my wife's.
Oh, okay.
And so in between now and our meeting, the 11th, this is homework, right?
Yeah, if there's any
Yeah,
changes,
yeah.
even typos, I hate typos.
Me
so
too.
it really.
appreciate
yeah,
that
it
about
bugs me.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you.
So I will
I'll
go
get through
through probably 2 or 3 more times because I can't stand typos, but, yeah, if you see anything at all that needs to be changed before we print more of them. And then, of course, I think we have to be sensitive to these are all still draft documents until we take
Yes.
public comment. We see what comes up on the website, survey, anything up to the very end, the 19th, which is, like I said, the 19th. We may, and even at the 19th, we may make some slight changes here and there, and then there'll be a final document that'll be delivered to the city clerk.
This is.
Aren't you feeling good about this?
I never thought we'd get this
I
far,
well, I all of a sudden feel really overwhelmed because it's like right here.
Yeah,
but we got
but you
this.
got
There's a
it.
light at the end of the tunnel.
Thanks to Debbie, we
Yeah.
got this.
Yeah, Debbie and
No,
Mike
no,
have-
no,
Yeah,
you
we
did a lot of
totally
the
lost.
hard work.
Even though Debbie didn't know who I was.
I'm sorry,
Even
Michael.
Michael,
It's
who?
very hard to tell from, see
Oh,
the scene we see.
Yeah, see how,
Clear across the room. we can't
see how little you guys
You're
are?
so little. I'm glad to see everyone in person.
I know, it's really nice.
No, this is great work. Thank you. Debbie
It's
and
great
Mike.
work. for
Yes,
all of you.
good
That
job.
one, we can see that one,
Yes, looking dapper as usual.
yes.
Okay, well,
Do I have to wear a tie?
No.
He's still on that.
No.
I think it's better.
I'm gonna,
Wear a tie with shorts.
I'm representing. I might be in black and orange, or some
I'm
tiger
happy to
print
wear
Probably
something.
just need to text her and make sure you don't wear the same thing.
But anyhow,
Oh, sorry.
before you continue your conversation, can we have a motion to adjourn if there is no other business relating to the upcoming meeting?
I'll motion that we adjourn.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I will second. Michael and I have moved and seconded. You have
Okay,
to
thank
type.
you, everybody who doesn't want to sit here and keep discussing what we were discussing. The rest of us carry on.
I will end the recording.
Right.